Hey everyone, welcome back to FMP Destroys the Tube Map. In this series I am redesigning the tube map by extending lines, adding stations, and generally just doing stupid stuff until the map looks like a complete mess. These additions are going to be from my silly brain or from you, the viewer. You can comment something as small as changing a station's name, or you could add a brand new line. But without further ado, enjoy the video. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 4 of FMP Destroys the Tube Map. How are we all doing? Welcome back to the series that everyone seems to really enjoy. First, I'd like to just point out a couple of things that I've changed in between episodes. So I extended Crossrail 3 from St Albans City to Luton Airport Parkway on this end. Coming down here, I also extended Crossrail 3 from Dartford to Gravesend. I added Elstree and Brockley Hill to the Northern Line up here towards Bushy Heath. I also asked in my previous video if I should recolour Millwall Green to green, so I have done that. Another thing people have caught, that was my bad, was I accidentally kept in West Sutton, so I renamed West Sutton to East Sutton just to be in line. Now, a couple of line name changes, because last episode I left the Moorgate to Gordon Hill line unnamed, as well as the Crossrail 3 line. The Moorgate Gordon Hill line I have renamed to the Gainsborough line, because no one else suggested a better name, I'll be completely honest. I called it this because the previous power station for the Northern City line, the building then got turned into Gainsborough Pictures Studio, which has since been turned into a block of flats, but that's why I've called it the Gainsborough line. I don't know, I couldn't really think of a better name. As well as Crossrail 3, which, from the suggestion of Plain Guy from Roblox on Discord, that's right, join the Discord server and you will get priority in these videos, so you sort of come first and your suggestion's more likely to get into a more recent video, because I know there are some people who are waiting. But as you can see here, East Hampstead Cromwell, the Plain Guy from Roblox, or just Plain Guy from Roblox, has suggested to rename Crossrail 3 to the Cromwell line after Oliver Cromwell, who killed the king. Let's get into some more suggestions. Suggestion number 77 from T26565 and Pokemon Super 9, and from the Discord, Adagissimo? Extend the district line to Shoeburyness via North End Airport and North End Victoria. Very simply, do this. There we go. We will, as always, I'll come back and fix this at a later point. From Cobalt Skies and Bialoxawone from the Discord. Extend the central line to Harlow and Chelmsford. The Chelmsford line via Southweld, Blakehall and Ongar. That's right, the Ongar line is coming back. Epping, we've got this coming over to Chelmsford, and Harlow, I think that's over here, and Chelmsford, which I'd imagine could probably connect up with the Elizabeth line. I feel like eventually we're going to have the whole of like Norfolk, Suffolk, all of it on the Elizabeth line out this end, but for now this is what we've got. There we go. From Yanis GT on the Discord, add Beckton Riverside to the DLR. That is my bad, I forgot about this as a proposed station. Beckton Riverside. I'll come and fix it later. From Oscar Toomey that loves trains, rename Maze Hill to Prime Meridian. I think that's just because it's on Greenwich Mean Time. It's where time begins. It's the start of time. There we go. I'm gonna put 00 Greenwich Mean Time on the tube. Completely unnecessary addition. From Remy and Fex the Lazy, extend the central line to Stanmore via Enfield Town, branching off at Stratford. I'd imagine this is going via the Lee Valley line, the one that's not an overground line. So over here, up to Enfield Town. This is something I realised. The Gainsborough line is actually on the wrong side of the Piccadilly line geographically. It's actually over here. That's my bad. I will change that later on. We'll take this via High Barnet, Burnt Oak, and Stanmore. This is a suggestion from my girlfriend, who recently appeared in a video, which is quite exciting. Go watch that if you want to, because she's in there. She has suggested to rename any greenery-related words to shrubbery.
Well, what is it you want? We want a shrubbery!
The 4 words I've chosen to rename to shrubbery are park, bush, oak, and wood.
One that looks nice. Of course.
There are many more, like farm, and grove, and green, and all sorts.
And not too expensive.
But for the sake of not having half the tube map say shrubbery, I'm just going to go for park, bush, oak, and wood. I'm obviously not going to do all of this right now, but as an example, Bronsbury shrubbery. Shrubbery Lane for Wood Lane. Shepherd's Shrubbery Market. Shepherd's Shrubbery. You can see why this is kind of funny. Holland Shrubbery. Hyde Shrubbery Corner. Green Shrubbery. We're coming up to Stevenage for this one. Add a new line from Stevenage to Braintree via Didcot and Tunbridge Wells, but just the 4 stations in a straight line. Hell yeah. What colour should we do this new line? This new crazy line? Magenta-y kind of colour? There we go. And this is going to be called the Ring Road. The Ring Rail. This is the Ring Rail, but it's just in a straight line. Merge Haringey Green Lanes, Haringey, and Manor House into one station called Harrington House. I'm going to take 90% of that, except for the bit that says Harrington House, because I think that's a silly name. And we're simply going to call this station Haringey, but the wrong way. There we go. Obviously I'm going to come in and clean that up, but that's what that looks like for now. Then from Blue 25, we've got merge Bethnal Green and Bethnal Green. It was going to happen eventually. This is just very simply done. Bring down here. Bethnal Green. There we go. Just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And from Plent KS, swap the eastern termini of the Metropolitan and Hammersmith and City lines. Basically, make the Metropolitan line go to Barking and the Hammersmith and City line go to Aldgate. It won't be fantastic. It's not going to be the best thing ever right now. This is going to be a very crappy job at the moment because all the ticks are going to be the wrong colour. So now it's quite literally the Hammersmith and City line and does not go to Barking because Barking's not in the city. That wouldn't make any sense. From the official Jamie Rubber fan, merge City Crossrail 3, which is now City Cromwell, and St Paul's Station into City Station. This makes a lot of sense, I think. There we go. Now that's all part of City as well. Now the Central Line stops 3 times in City Station. Oh, I love this station so much, it's so funny. Oh, this is from me. This is my suggestion. I always get a little bit excited. Split Hayes and Harlington into Hayes and Harlington, 2 separate stations, with the Elizabeth line going to Hayes and the Metropolitan line going to Harlington. Hayes, of course, is a station already, which just makes this 10 times more confusing. Then I'm also going to add Northolt Park, Northolt and Yedding to the Metropolitan line. I should say Southolt and Southolt Park, because they sort of, that's geographically what works out. And we've got one at Northolt Park, which I guess would be Northolt Shrubbery, or Southolt Shrubbery, completely butchered that name, and then one at Yedding. So you can take the Metropolitan line from Yedding to Reading. From Cobalt Skies, extend the Central line to Denham, which again is a real extension that was going to happen before the war, around the same time as the Northern Heights extension. So we've got one at Denham. I think there's one at another place along the way, so I'm just going to put one here for now, because I can't exactly remember what that was. From Carl the Wimpy Kid, extend the Southern line. Where do I extend it to? I've never been given this much free range. Bro just kind of said extend the Southern line and didn't elaborate. Fair enough, Carl. I'm looking down here, I'm thinking maybe Wimbledon, but is that exciting? Where can we go from Waterloo, Clapham Junction? Let's go to Portsmouth. There's Portsmouth. We're going to go for Portsmouth Harbour Station, with the addition of Portsmouth and Southsea. No other stops along the line apart from one at Wimbledon. There you go, Portsmouthians, up the Pompey. If you're from Portsmouth watching this video, drop a heart. Drop a heart. I also got two very similar suggestions. I'm going to take the time now to explain what these two suggestions were. So I got one from Diamond Rock 42 to add the South City line from Heathrow Terminal 5 to Thamesmead via Hanworth, Teddington, Richmond Park, Wimbledon, Crystal Palace, Sydenham, Lewisham/Catford. Lewisham and Catford, he said. And Woolwich, and then Thamesmead. But I also got a suggestion from Generation Studios to add the Southern line. This is before I added the Southern line. From Gillespie Roadsbury, or Gunnersbury as it used to be called, to Norwood Junction via Chiswick, Barnesbridge, East Putney, West Putney, Earlsfield, Balham, Clapham Park, Brixton, Tulse Hill, East Norwood, Upper Norwood and Norwood Junction. They are very similar routes. So what I'm going to do is create the South City line, combining both of these into one more cohesive line. So this is sort of more what it would look like. We've got Heathrow Terminal 5 doing a bit of the South Western Railway commuter routes, going around here, sort of around Richmond Park, Gillespie Roadsbury, going through Barnes, Putney, coming through Balham, Herne Hill. We've also got one at Tulse Hill here, Herne Hill, Sydenham Hill, Crystal Palace, then it splits off again from Norwood Junction, Catford. Then we've got Sydenham, Lewisham, Woolwich and Thamesmead there. Finally, in this video, there has been a very consistent commenter by the name of Quantum Pulsar. Bro's been giving some crazy suggestions every single episode, so what I'm gonna do is do all of them right now. I haven't included every single suggestion, but I've included most of the ones I think would work and are quite funny. And if he continues to comment paragraphs of stuff in the future, I guess in like 4 or 5 episodes time I'll have to do another version of this. So, first off, rename Abbey Road to Not That Abbey Road. Because, of course, it is, I'd say, quite common knowledge, but maybe not everyone knows it, but the Abbey Road on the tube map is not the Abbey Road from the Beatles album. It's just a completely different place, so we're going to put Not That Abbey Road, because it's not. So we're going to put the real Abbey Road over here where it is in St John's Wood. I think let's just rename St John's Wood to Abbey Road. Also from Quantum Pulsar, all of these are from Quantum Pulsar, I don't know why I read that like it wasn't. Make all square stations have square connector blobs. I will have a video about square stations out soon. Having a couple of camera problems, I'm not going to be able to finish this video, so I'm going to do it very quickly. Sloane Square, then we've got Leicester Square, Russell Square, and Euston Square. There we go, those are the only square stations. Rename a station after Jeff Marshall. So I'm going to rename Jeff Marshall's favourite station, which is Sudbury Town, to Marshalltown. Hell yeah. I'm afraid I'm going to have to do the rest of this video without a camera. Very sorry. Goodbye. My face is saying goodbye. Continuing on. Yes, extend the Jubilee line to the moon. Where can I extend the Jubilee line from? Maybe South Greenwich, because that's sort of astronomy related. South Greenwich. The moon? How do you extend to the moon? How do you go to the moon? like this? Yeah, I'll figure this out later. There we go. The moon is on the tube map. Add the ABBA line from Waterloo to Stockholm via Pudding Mill Lane and Waterloo, Belgium. So the Waterloo in Belgium. What are we going to call this line? Oh, it's the ABBA line. I don't know why. Waterloo, Pudding Mill. Oh dear. And then that's the wrong one. That's Norway. Oops. Stockholm. Or more specifically, I think Quantum Pulsar wanted to go to the tram stop that the ABBA Museum is at, which I have been to the ABBA Museum. Put some photos up of the ABBA Museum. That was quite fun. But yeah, that's that done. Add a station between Green Park and Victoria for Buckingham Palace. Or Green Shrubbery, I should say. Oh, I'm a silly person. I am a silly person. And then one between Pimlico and Vauxhall for MI6 underneath the River Thames. There we go. What's going on with the River Thames? That's looking a bit disjointed. Oh well. Extend the Metropolitan line to Leicester, Nottingham, Derby, and Sheffield. Okay. I know I said in my last video I wouldn't do any more extensions from the Metropolitan line, but Leicester, Nottingham, Derby, Sheffield is actually already on my map all the way over here. So let's bring this over to Sheffield. I'm gonna have to do something about that because that is not gonna do. Let's see if I can get some little bit of battery life in here. That is what the tube map is looking like at the moment. Here we go. That's it looks crazier and crazier every single video, but that being said, let's make it look all nice with a lovely little montage. Is this video. I would like to say a couple of things before this video ends. I got a lot of suggestions that were something along the lines of extend whatever line to just random location, like far away, long location. I appreciate these comments, but I'm much more likely to include you if you say something like make all the square stations square rather than, you know, extend the Victoria line to Australia. But I'm just saying that now, just so people don't get offended when I don't include their crazy extension of, you know, the Waterloo and City line to India. If you join the Discord server, you are more likely to get featured in these videos because there are lots of people on there and it is a cool FMP Discord community server. You can also get the high quality version of this map to zoom in, have a look a bit more at the details that I include. because a lot of the time my montage doesn't have everything in it. I've got pretty much a whole episode's worth of ideas already from previous suggestions. I'm sure this video will get even more suggestions, so by the time I've recorded episode 5, I might have enough for another 2 episodes. So I think this series is going to run for a little while, but I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, that's great, and I will see you in the next video, depending on when that may be. Goodbye.